Today is day 4 of the Nonprofit Sector Appreciation Week. We are so happy to receive so many responses, especially from our community partners. So today, we're going to extend it to show some of the responses from our community partners. Thank you very much for the support. And yes, our community heroes deserve our support, our recognition, and our appreciation. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Bruce McDonald and I'm the President and CEO of Imagine Canada. I'm here today to join the growing chorus of voices in celebrating and recognizing the amazing contribution of the dedicated staff and volunteers that make up the charitable and nonprofit sector here in Ontario. With 58,000 mission-driven organizations in our sector in this province, employing 1 million people and engaging 5.2 million volunteers, charities and nonprofits are at the heart of Ontario communities. This has never been more evident than during the past 2 years. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, more and more people have been turning to organizations in our sector for support and services, and our sector has not disappointed. While other parts of the economy were forced to shut down, organizations in our sector have continued to provide outstanding service to people in their communities, and doing so with fewer resources. From February 14th to 20th, we have the opportunity to pause and recognize those incredible people who have contributed to the health and well-being of their communities. Let's give them our collective and, where possible, individual appreciation. Thanks to everyone that has worked tirelessly to make this week of appreciation for the nonprofit sector a reality. The Biana Family Foundation, the Ontario Nonprofit Network, the United Way Greater Toronto, and members of the Provincial Legislative Assembly. All the best as you celebrate this week.
Hi, my name is Andrew Chinalal, CEO of Community Foundations of Canada. Today is the start of Nonprofit Appreciation Week, and I wanted to reflect on the amazing work of nonprofits across Canada. There are over 170,000 registered nonprofits from coast to coast to coast. And we are proud that our network of over 200 community foundations are part of this number. Community foundations play a key role in supporting the nonprofit sector through their grant making and through their impact investing. They are also shifting power to the local level, rooted in their communities and caring deeply about their well-being. Before COVID-19 and throughout the pandemic, in the face of incredible challenges, charities and nonprofits have worked to keep the fabric of our communities knitted together. This week is an opportunity to show our appreciation. So to all the community leaders in Community Foundation and across the nonprofit sector, thank you. Thank you for your time, your work, and how you stand with your communities.
At United Way Southside Canada, sharing appreciation is a critical part of our culture, and without a doubt, our essential community service organizations and the frontline staff and volunteers who serve communities across Ontario are most deserving of being recognized and appreciated. We see the important work they do every day through our network of over 3,500 agencies that United Ways and Centraides support across the country. Rising inflation, the increased cost of essentials like housing, energy, and food, as well as the impact of this on mental health, is driving more families into crisis and putting immense strain on our essential community services. To our community service workers, you are the glue that holds our communities together. You lift people up when they need a helping hand, and you are a beacon of hope for a brighter future. We thank you for all that you do.
Hi, I'm Camille Kenville, CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association, Ontario Division. CMHA is Canada's oldest nationwide health charity. We have over 100 years in the nonprofit sector. And on behalf of my colleagues in our 28 branches across Ontario, I'm really pleased to lend our support to a week of recognition for those of us who work in the not-for-profit sector. My colleagues who work in this sector are called to public service. They want to help their fellow Ontarians, and I'm immensely proud to be part of this. At CMHA, we work to improve the lives of people who struggle with their mental health or an addiction. We do that work every day, thousands of us across the province. Having a week to recognize this work is really valuable, and I'm so grateful to have the chance to support it. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Nazareth, part of Canada's nonprofit sector for the last 20 years. And I want to share today my joy for nonprofit appreciation work here in Ontario. Did you know that Ontario's nonprofit sector represents 58,000 organizations right here in our province? That represents almost 8% of GDP. That's $65 billion for our economy. The sector employs 850,000 Ontarians. But what does that mean? Nonprofits are all around us. It's your local daycare, your local library, the shelter that saved your cat. All of these organizations that want us to be healthier, wealthier, happier, safer, helping young people, helping our elders, helping our Indigenous, diverse, and new communities. That's Ontario's nonprofit sector, and it needs to be strong and supported. So please, join me in celebrating your local nonprofit. Thank them this week for all that they do. And I'd like to thank the Ontario Nonprofit Network, our colleagues at the United Way of Greater Toronto, and the Banana Family Foundation for getting behind this whole concept of celebrating Ontario nonprofits. Please share your favorite organizations today. Happy Nonprofit Appreciation Week, everyone.
Hello, I'm Artie Freeman, CEO of the Definity Insurance Foundation, a new Canadian philanthropic foundation dedicated to working with charitable partners to support health, socioeconomic, and climate equity. You know, for most of my life, I've been personally engaged in the charitable and nonprofit sector, first and foremost as a community volunteer, and then as a capacity builder and grant maker. I have had the privilege of working with and supporting the work of the people that make up the sector, whose passions and efforts have helped create new opportunities, solutions, and pathways, from climate change, food security, social inclusion, healthcare, employment, housing, literacy, to recreation, sports, and arts. Nonprofits are present in our communities, working on issues we care about. Did you know that Canada's charitable sector alone is a bigger contributor to the economy than industries such as real estate, mining, finance, manufacturing, and construction? Our sector finds strength in diversity. Close to 80% of Canada's charitable and nonprofit workers are women. Close to 50% are immigrants, and over 30% identify as Indigenous and racialized. Today, I recognize and celebrate the people that come together as a community made up of entrepreneurs, innovators, advocates, problem solvers, leaders, and volunteers who demonstrate empathy, passion, and commitment to ensure that we and our communities continue to thrive. Nonprofit Appreciation Week exemplifies the value of the sector, its organizations, and its people. This week and every week, we recognize that nonprofits and charities are essential to our cumulative well-being and prosperous future. So on behalf of the Definity Insurance Foundation, I express my sincerest gratitude and appreciation to Canada's charitable and nonprofit sector.
Hi, my name is Juliette Labossière, and I am the Executive Director for the United Way Centraide SD&G. I have been employed in the nonprofit sector for over 20 years, and I cannot lie that a week highlighting the work of the nonprofit sector hits close to home. In February 2021, the Board of Directors of my United Way motioned to support the Banana Family Foundation's efforts to create a day of recognition for the nonprofit sector in Ontario. And as we celebrate the second anniversary of the annual Week of Appreciation, I have decided to share why this recognition is so important to me and to my organization. I have often said that nonprofits are the heart and soul of our communities. They are filled with passionate, community-driven professionals that are surrounded by dedicated teams of volunteers, and they always seem to pull together and make the impossible possible. Yet, over the last few years, no one went out on the streets and banged pots for the nonprofits. Our work is invisible, regardless that it is the foundation that keeps our society afloat. We have been tirelessly working in the background to ensure families were fed, individuals housed, and the mental health resources our communities so desperately needed were maintained. We are the underground and hidden workers that are piecing back the parts of our communities that have been devastated by the last few years, and we are clawing at every opportunity to make things better for everyone as we move forward. A Canada Helps Ipsos poll from 2022 indicated that 22% of Canadians were expecting to rely on charitable resources over the next 6 months. Some of our own local food banks have seen these numbers exceed that prediction and have usage up over 120% year over year from December 2021 to December 2022. This means that 1 out of 4 of your family members, your friends, and your colleagues rely on us, the nonprofits, to get through their every day. In the news, we often hear discussions around fundraising for nonprofits, but it's time to recognize that we do so much more than host barbecues and sell raffle tickets. Nonprofits are quietly caring for our communities from the ground up, ensuring individuals' needs are met and that humanity exists within the difficult structures that our most vulnerable must navigate. It is time to no longer take that work for granted. The work of our nonprofit sector is work that is worth celebrating. Join us and the Bayana Family Foundation as we celebrate the work of the few that care for the many.
My name is Bhavna Varma, and I'm with the United Way in Kingston. February 13th is Nonprofit Appreciation Week, and it's a chance for us to celebrate the incredible work done by nonprofits across the province. Volunteers and staff in nonprofits work tirelessly every single day of the year. This is a week where we can really show our appreciation for the great work that they do. And it's hard to imagine a world where we did not have these nonprofits serving people in different ways every single day. So thank you, a shout out to all of you for the great work you do. Thank you so much. And I hope this week gives you a sense of how much you are appreciated across the province, across the country. Thank you. Take care.
Hello, I'm Sharon Avery, CEO of Toronto Foundation. We are happy to join the Bayana Family Foundation in celebrating the importance of the nonprofit sector again this year. This sector was absolutely essential during the worst of the pandemic, and it's just as essential as we attempt to reconnect. Recently, Toronto Foundation and Environics Institute, along with 15 other city building partners, invested in social capital research. Social capital measures a dimension of our well-being by looking at the strengths of our relationships, social trust, and civic engagement. While COVID hasn't driven us apart, it's left hundreds of thousands feeling disconnected. In fact, almost 300,000 people rarely or never feel they have someone to depend on when they really need it. That's heartbreaking. But community organizations continue to be there filling the gaps, all the while struggling to make ends meet and avoid burnout themselves. The 2022 Toronto Social Capital Study also revealed that this city has lost the equivalent of 300,000 volunteers and 300,000 donors. It turns out there's a clear connection between getting involved in community, how inclined you are then to donate, and how satisfied you feel with your life overall. As we proudly recognize another week of appreciation for the Ontario nonprofit sector, please consider donating and volunteering. It'll be good for you, for your neighbors, and the ever-dedicated staff in the nonprofit sector.
Hello, I'm Deepa Mattu, Executive Director at Barbara Schleifer Commemorative Clinic. The clinic offers trauma-informed legal, counseling, and interpretation services to women and gender-diverse survivors from racialized and marginalized communities across the Greater Toronto Area. Our special projects allow us to extend our services across Ontario and Canada. On the behalf of the clinic, I'm excited to celebrate Not-for-Profit Appreciation Week and to help bring greater awareness to the importance of not-for-profits. Thank you, Bayana Family Foundation and our MPP Jessica Bell, MPP for University Rosedale, whose commitment to this sector is critical to its success. Not-for-profit organizations allow communities to thrive. They exist to address concerns brought forward by communities, housing shortages, rising food costs, and in case of the clinic, access to justice. When we work together With the government support, we can address inequity and ensure that everyone has access to resources and opportunities that is needed to prosper. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Joe Cressy. I'm a Senior Vice President here at George Brown College. And on behalf of our nearly 30,000 students and our more than 4,000 staff, we want to join so many across our province in recognizing Nonprofit Appreciation Week. Our mandate at George Brown College is to be part of building great communities, inclusive, sustainable, prosperous communities. That's our mandate. You know, for the thousands of Ontarians who work and volunteer in the nonprofit sector, we know you don't do it for fame, you don't do it for the money, you do it to make a difference. That's what we're all about at George Brown College as well, making a difference. But we could not do it, we can't do it, without the nonprofit sector in this province. And so I want to join so many in recognizing this special appreciation week, because we know when it comes to the nonprofit sector, it's not just about recognizing you once a week, but each and every day, every year. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Dr. Michael Leary, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Applied Health and Community Studies at Sheridan College. Thank you to the Bayena Foundation and all partners for celebrating Nonprofit Appreciation Week. This means a lot to our educators, our current learners, and our graduates who continue to contribute to Ontario's nonprofit sector by working as researchers, social and personal support workers, practical nurses, early childhood educators, and administrative leaders. If the pandemic has proven anything to us, it's that our nonprofit sector deserves recognition and investment along with qualified and a diverse workforce to serve in our communities. At Sheridan, we continue to do our part to strengthen Ontario's nonprofit sector, and I hope you will too. Thank you.
It's time to celebrate nonprofits. As the CEO of RENA, I think we should take at least a minute, if not an hour, or a day, or a whole week to celebrate the nonprofit sector. These are people with values who are adding to all our lives in the social, spiritual, cultural, physical dimensions, all the stuff between that matters in life, whether it's our sports leagues, our associations, our clubs, our seniors clubs, whether it's supporting people with disabilities or creating businesses for those who can't create for themselves. In our cultural realm and all areas, let's celebrate nonprofits because they are the source of community.
Hello, I'm Heather McDonald, the CEO of Loft, and I am very happy to send a message of deep gratitude and appreciation to all the incredible people who work in nonprofits. Our organization has so much to be grateful for. Our staff are determined. They are mission-driven to make the world a better place, and I am so grateful for them and grateful for all people who do this important work. So thank you and all the best, and you are appreciated and you make such a difference in our world.
Happy Not-for-Profit Appreciation Week. I'm Sherilyn Ladenchuk, the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peel, York, and I am privileged to be a part of the dedicated not-for-profit sector, passionately making an impact on the communities across Ontario. The Children and Youth Mentoring Interventions at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peel, York join into a system of impact, support, service, change, and community building that we proudly call our sector. The richness of the not-for-profit sector is foundationalized by the incredible staff individuals and teams, dedicated volunteers, board governance champions, donor and stakeholder investors, and our amazing communities who engage with us. I would like to extend a huge thanks to the Bayena Foundation and MPP Daisy Way for their advocacy on behalf of the not-for-profit sector and for their ongoing recognition and amplification of the critical role that the not-for-profit sector plays in our communities. So this week and every week, celebrate not-for-profit impact. Together, we are stronger.
Hello, I'm Bill Sinclair, CEO of the Neighbourhood Group Community Services in Toronto, Ontario. I'm excited to be part of celebrating Ontario Nonprofit Week of Appreciation in February. I'd like to thank the Bayena Family Foundation and MPP Daisy Way for making this happen. Our communities are facing tough times with the pandemic, the housing crisis, and the rising cost of everything that families need. In all our communities, it is nonprofits that are walking this walk together with our neighbors. And there are bright spots. This year, we were able to reduce childcare fees for parents by 50% thanks to the National Child Care Plan. We also have 100 new tenants celebrating their first anniversary in their own apartments thanks to the National Housing Strategy. When the community and government work together, good things happen. In closing, I want to share a small story. In the midst of our current crisis in healthcare, with crowded emergency rooms and staff shortages, we were able to reduce ambulance waiting times by hours in our Kensington Market neighborhood by solving problems together. Nonprofit organizations and nonprofit hospitals working together for innovation. I'm sure we all have local stories like this to tell, so please share them. Happy Ontario Nonprofit Week of Appreciation.
Hi everyone, my name is Melanie and I am the Senior Director of Marketing and Social Impact here at Hoot Reading. Happy Nonprofit Appreciation Week. We are so grateful for the 850,000 nonprofit workers who make the nonprofit sector an economic driver and, most importantly, a social impact driver. Every day, these 58,000 organizations and 850,000 workers are making our community stronger, whether it's advancing literacy through after-school programs or supporting our environment. Every nonprofit and every worker plays an important role, not only in the sector, but in all of the communities that we live in. Thank you for your work and for your dedication. Have an amazing week.
Hi, I'm Mary Barrell, President of Charity Village. Did you know that there are more than 1 million people who work in Ontario's nonprofit sector? These invisible champions are the professionals who help people through some of the direst of circumstances to creating experiences that spark joy. They include social workers, educators, counselors, artists, athletes, community builders, advocates, and much more. Most of us know someone who has benefited from their work, and yet these champions often go unacknowledged, and their contributions are often unknown. But all that is set to change as Ontario celebrates the first annual Week of Appreciation for the Nonprofit Sector, occurring this year from February 14th to 20th. Isn't it fitting that in this, the first year, 2022, will fall on Valentine's Day? After all, nonprofit organizations and their staff and volunteers are the heart of every community across the province. This Week of Appreciation is the result of 15 months of advocacy by the Biana Family Foundation. It was passed unanimously as Bill 9 with support of all parties in the Ontario Parliament. Thanks to MPP Daisy Wise' passionate and strategic leadership, the support of United Way Greater Toronto and the Ontario Nonprofit Network, and the endorsement of more than 300 organizations and individuals, the third week of February will be celebrated as Nonprofit Appreciation Week in perpetuity. Charity Village is proud to have also supported this important initiative and to stand with the Biana Family Foundation in celebrating the 58,000 mission-driven organizations, the 1 million exceptional nonprofit professionals, and the 5.2 million volunteers who all work together to create such a vibrant nonprofit sector in Ontario. Now more than ever, it's time to celebrate the positive impact that Ontario nonprofits have on their communities. Join us in celebrating the sector with this Week of Recognition.